Hey man, let me tell you something most guys completely miss. When a woman starts falling for you, she won't always say it, she won't even admit it to herself, but her energy changes, the way she looks at you, the way she texts you, the way she responds when you go silent. Everything shifts subtly. You see, attraction is never loud at first. It starts with curiosity. She starts paying more attention to the little things you say, the way you carry yourself, the calm in your voice, the confidence in your silence. She'll test you a little less and study you a little more. Her emotions start betraying her logic, and that's when you begin to notice the signs, not because she's chasing you, but because she's trying not to. When a woman starts falling, her greatest fear isn't losing you, it's losing control of how much she wants you. One of the first signs she's slipping is when she begins to mirror your behavior unconsciously. You'll notice it. Your slang becomes her slang. Your hobbies become interesting to her. Your rhythm becomes hers. It's because she's aligning herself with your world without realizing it. That's not manipulation, that's chemistry. A woman who's falling for you subconsciously wants to belong in your reality. She'll start asking you deeper questions, not surface level stuff like your favorite color, but about your values, your past, your vision. She's not just collecting information, she's trying to understand the man behind the mask. She's studying your emotional patterns to see if her heart is safe with you. When she does this, don't rush it, don't overvalidate it. Let her explore your depth while you remain centered. Because if she feels your energy is unshakable, her emotional guard will start collapsing, and that's how real attraction grows. Then there's the subtle nervousness. You'll see it in her body language. She fixes her hair more when you talk. She touches her neck. She laughs a little too hard at something mildly funny. That's not acting, that's instinct. When women feel emotionally drawn to a man, their body starts speaking before their mind catches up. Her tone softens. Her eyes linger a second longer, and when you pull away, not out of strategy but natural self-assurance, she feels it like static in her chest. She won't say it, but she'll notice. She'll wonder why your absence suddenly feels heavier than it should. That's when she starts rationalizing her feelings, telling herself she's just comfortable around you, but deep down she knows something's happening. The very energy she used to control others with attention, charm, validation, stops working on you, and that's what makes her heart start to race. When she's falling, you'll also notice something powerful. Her masculine energy starts dissolving. You see, modern women often lead with dominance, independence, or control because they've been conditioned to protect themselves. But when a woman feels safe, that mask falls off. She starts softening around you. Her tone becomes more feminine, her defenses relax, and she begins to trust your leadership. Not because you demanded it, but because your calmness creates emotional safety. She no longer needs to prove her strength. She wants to rest in your presence. That's why some men misinterpret submission as weakness, but in truth, it's sacred. When she starts letting you lead, choosing your restaurant choice, following your suggestions, waiting for your text, that's her soul signaling that she's emotionally invested. The key here, don't abuse that softness. Nurture it by staying grounded and unpredictable. Women fall harder when you make them feel safe and intrigued. Another unmistakable sign, her curiosity about your silence. When she starts falling, your absence speaks louder than your words. You might take a few hours to reply, and suddenly she's rereading your last message, overanalyzing your tone, wondering if you lost interest. But here's what's really happening. Her emotional investment has surpassed her logic. She's no longer in control of how much she cares. She starts craving your presence without understanding why. She'll send random texts like, "How's your day going?" just to gauge if the connection is still alive. That's not neediness, that's vulnerability. The danger is, if you respond with overexcitement or over-pursuit, the polarity collapses. But if you respond with calm, detached warmth, the type that says, "I'm here but I don't need this," her feelings deepen. Because deep down, every woman wants to feel she found a man who could love her but doesn't need her to function. And here's the fascinating part. When she starts truly falling, she'll begin to test you less. At first, she might have tested your patience, your composure, your confidence, but once she starts developing feelings, her emotional logic changes. She no longer wants to risk losing your presence by playing games. You'll notice her tone becomes softer, her arguments shorter, and her ego less reactive. Instead of starting drama, she starts seeking peace. That's when she begins to prioritize emotional connection over dominance. You'll feel it, the shift in her energy when she stops trying to win and starts wanting to understand. That's when she's transitioning from attraction to attachment. It's subtle, but unmistakable. She begins to care about how you feel, not just how you perceive her. That's when she's emotionally vulnerable. And if you stay consistent during this stage, she'll associate that safety with you permanently. Her emotional investment deepens further when she starts protecting your image to others. You might not even notice it at first, but listen closely. She starts defending you in conversations, explaining your side when someone criticizes you, or even mentioning your name more often in random contexts. That's emotional loyalty. That's her spirit aligning with yours even when you're not around. Women don't protect men. They don't feel deeply connected to. When she's falling, she wants to preserve your presence in her world. Even when you're physically absent, she wants others to see what she sees in you. And that's a sacred moment because it means she's already chosen you emotionally, even if she hasn't said it out loud yet. When you see this, remain silent and humble. Let her admire you in peace. Don't rush to label it. Real attraction unfolds naturally, not through pressure, but through energy that speaks louder than intention. There's also a quiet possessiveness that appears. She won't say you're mine, but she'll start showing it in small ways. Subtle questions about who you're texting, playful jealousy about another woman's comment, or random teasing when you're out of reach. That's her feminine nature feeling, territorial over what she desires. But here's the key, it's not toxic when she's falling, it's instinctive. Women claim emotionally before they ever claim physically. Her curiosity about your attention is a sign that she's emotionally invested. The best response isn't to reassure her, it's to stay calm and stable. Reassurance can create dependency. Stability creates trust. When she sees that nothing shakes your composure, not attention from other women, not emotional tests, not distance, her attraction matures into respect. And once a woman respects you, her feelings shift from temporary to timeless. You'll also notice her desire for emotional exclusivity. Before, she may have flirted freely, kept her options open, or talked about other guys, but when she's falling, those things fade. Suddenly her attention narrows, her conversations revolve around you, even indirectly. She starts seeking emotional validation from you more than anyone else. She'll want your opinion on things she used to decide alone. She'll subtly check if you noticed her changes, her hair, her tone, her outfit. Not because she's insecure, but because she values your perception. Your opinion starts to shape how she feels about herself. That's when the dynamic shifts. You're no longer just a man she likes, you're becoming part of her emotional identity. That's why it's crucial to stay steady, because however you behave during this phase, she'll imprint that emotionally. If you lead with calm and self-respect, she'll fall not just for you, but for the peace you bring into her world. But perhaps the most powerful sign of all, her emotional transparency. Women are masters at hiding their feelings until they feel safe. But when she's truly falling, she begins to open up. She'll share her past, her fears, her insecurities, her dreams. She'll tell you things she hasn't told anyone else. That's not conversation, that's connection. And when that happens, don't rush to fix or judge, just listen. That's where most men lose the frame. They try to solve her instead of understanding her. But a woman doesn't fall for the man who fixes her. She falls for the man who feels safe enough to be broken in front of him. When she starts trusting you with her emotional truth, that's when she's already yours, in ways words can't describe. The challenge now is to remain her piece, not her project, because the man who can hold her chaos without becoming part of it, that's the man she'll never forget. As her emotions deepen, something even more subtle starts happening. She begins to sync her rhythm with yours. She starts noticing your habits, your timing, your moods, and unconsciously adjusts herself to fit into that flow. If you're a man who wakes up early, she'll start waking earlier too. If you go silent for a few hours, she'll find herself missing you during those exact same hours. It's not manipulation, it's resonance. Emotional resonance always pulls two people into the same energetic frequency. She begins to crave the calm that comes from being in your presence. She doesn't want chaos anymore, she wants alignment. When a woman starts aligning herself to your rhythm, it's the most powerful sign of connection, because women don't mirror men, they don't emotionally trust. It's not about power or dominance, it's about her spirit finding a home in the steadiness of yours. She's not chasing control anymore, she's chasing peace, and you've become the source of it. You'll also notice a deep emotional awareness from her. She starts reading you more accurately. When you're off, she feels it without words. When you're distant, she asks softly, not accusingly. When you're tired, she naturally eases her energy. This sensitivity isn't random, it's instinctive. When a woman is emotionally connected, her intuition sharpens around the man she loves. She can sense tension before it's visible. That's how women bond, not through logic, but through empathy. And when she begins to feel your emotions as her own, it's a sign that her heart has opened. But here's what separates men who lose her from those who keep her: how you handle that empathy. If you use it to manipulate, she'll close up again. But if you honor it, stay consistent, and continue to move with quiet purpose, she'll surrender emotionally without even realizing it. Because no woman fears falling for a man who leads with both strength and awareness. Then there's the shift in her language. Listen carefully. A woman who's falling for you starts speaking from togetherness instead of separation. Words like you and me slowly become we. It's not something she plans, it slips out naturally. She'll say things like, "We should try that place," or "We'd look good there." That shift reveals her subconscious. She's already picturing a future with you, even in small things. Her mind starts creating emotional permanence out of temporary moments, and that's when she's most vulnerable, because now she's emotionally investing in an outcome she can't control. The way you handle this stage determines everything. If you stay grounded, patient, and emotionally consistent, her attachment grows healthily. But if you start acting unpredictable, overly reactive, or distant for validation, her heart retreats. Remember, women fall for men who remain unmoved by pressure. When you hold your center, she feels safe building her dreams around you. There's another sign most men overlook: her silence around you becomes comfortable. You see, women only talk endlessly when they're nervous, when they're still performing. But when she starts feeling truly connected, she doesn't need to fill the air with noise. She can sit in silence with you. No awkwardness, no pretense, just presence. That's intimacy on a level most men don't understand. When a woman starts falling, the peace she feels around you becomes addictive. She doesn't even know why she feels so calm. She just knows that in your presence, her overthinking slows down, her anxiety fades, and her heart feels lighter. And that's how deep attraction is built. It's not through words or gestures, but through the way her nervous system relaxes when you walk into the room. That's what makes her crave you. Not your looks, not your money, but the emotional relief your presence provides. That's the kind of connection she never forgets. You'll also start to see it in her patience. A woman who's falling for you gives you time. She doesn't pressure you for instant commitment, doesn't demand constant attention, doesn't guilt trip you for needing space. That's because she values connection more than control now. When a woman begins to truly care, she intuitively understands that rushing something real is the fastest way to ruin it. So she waits, not passively, but faithfully. She's learning to trust the rhythm of your energy, even when it's distant. She believes that your silence doesn't mean disinterest, it means depth. That's a sacred kind of trust. When a woman gets to that stage, it means she's no longer reacting to fear, she's responding to faith. But that's also when you must be most disciplined, because one careless act of ego, one inconsistency, one emotional withdrawal for control can make her heart close again. Protect her trust, like it's rare because it is. As her feelings deepen, something starts happening that she herself doesn't fully understand. Her emotional energy starts chasing yours. When you pull back slightly, she feels it immediately. Not because she's needy, but because her heart has tuned itself to your frequency. She starts trying harder, cooking for you, remembering the things you like, wearing what she knows draws your eye. She's not doing these things for validation. She's doing them to express care. But here's the twist. She'll never say she's doing it for you. Women in love hide their affection behind acts of service. They'll make it look casual, but every action is intentional. And when you start seeing this shift, when her actions begin to align with emotional consistency, it means she's already emotionally attached. The key is to remain non-reactive. Don't reward it with overexcitement. Reward it with appreciation and stability, because nothing makes a woman fall deeper than feeling emotionally safe in her affection. Then comes the emotional contradiction, the part that confuses most men. When she's falling, her behavior might fluctuate. One moment she's open, warm, affectionate. The next, she's distant, uncertain, guarded. That's not manipulation, that's fear. Falling for someone threatens her emotional safety, especially if she's been hurt before. She's torn between vulnerability and protection. The closer she feels to you, the more her subconscious tries to pull her away, just to test if she can survive losing you. That's the push-pull dynamic of a woman's heart. The wrong kind of man takes that personally and reacts with frustration or withdrawal. The right kind of man remains calm. He doesn't chase when she pulls away, and he doesn't punish her for being scared. He just stands his ground, emotionally still, steady and unbothered. That steadiness tells her everything her fears need to hear, that this time, it's safe to fall. Another sign that she's falling is when her attention to detail becomes almost scary. She remembers things you said months ago, things you barely remember saying. The way you take your coffee, the kind of music you listen to when you're sad, the scent you wear, the words you use when you're stressed. She notices it all. That's because women express love through observation. When she's emotionally invested, she studies you like a language. She's trying to master. She's learning your patterns so she can comfort you before you even ask for it. That's how deep emotional attunement works, not through grand gestures, but through tiny, silent acts of understanding. The man who recognizes and appreciates this without taking advantage of it becomes unforgettable, because nothing makes a woman fall harder than being seen by a man who also sees her seeing him. Then you'll notice her protective instincts. When she's falling for you, she starts caring about your well-being in subtle, maternal ways, not in a controlling or suffocating sense, but nurturing. She'll remind you to rest, encourage you to chase your goals, worry about your stress, and celebrate your small victories like they're her own. She becomes emotionally invested in your evolution. That's when her love transforms from excitement to devotion. But here's what most men miss. The moment you take that devotion for granted, you break the magic. It's not your job to worship her for it, but to match that energy with quiet appreciation. A man who doesn't need to say much, but whose consistency proves he values her care, becomes impossible to replace. Because every woman eventually learns that affection is common, but emotional reciprocity is rare. And finally, the ultimate sign, she starts letting you see her flaws. A woman who's falling won't just show you her beauty. She'll start revealing her imperfections. She'll tell you about her mistakes, her regrets, the things she's ashamed of. She'll let you see her without makeup, in her bad moods, when she's insecure. That's her way of testing if your love survives imperfection. It's the final stage before full surrender, the moment she stops performing and starts trusting. When you respond with patience instead of judgment, when you stay emotionally calm instead of reacting, you unlock something deeper than attraction. You awaken love, not the fairy tale kind, but the real kind, the kind that grows in silence, matures in patience, and survives in trust. That's when she knows she's safe, and that's when she falls completely. As she continues to fall deeper, her emotional guard starts dissolving piece by piece, and you begin to notice it in the smallest of ways. She no longer overthinks every word you say or second guesses every silence. Instead, she starts trusting the energy between you more than the words exchanged. That's the silent stage of emotional bonding, where she's not looking for explanations anymore, because your consistency has already spoken for you. When a woman starts believing your energy over your speech, she's emotionally anchored. You'll notice her tone change when she speaks to you, softer, slower, almost reverent. She might not even realize it herself, but her whole nervous system is learning to relax around you. And that's rare, man, because most women today live in fight or flight mode, guarded, anxious, skeptical. When you become the calm her soul craves, you stop being just another man in her life. You become her emotional refuge. You'll see another subtle shift too. She starts prioritizing presence over attention. Before, she might have wanted long texts, constant calls, validation through words. But as she falls deeper, she begins valuing your company more than your compliments. She'll crave moments of quiet connection, watching a movie in silence, sitting beside you without needing to talk, sharing space without pressure. This is when she starts associating your presence with emotional safety. It's not the excitement that pulls her anymore, it's the peace. And that's when she becomes emotionally dependent, not in a toxic way, but in a deeply human one. You've entered her subconscious now. Your energy regulates her emotions. When she feels unbalanced, she seeks your presence, not to fix her, but to center her. That's when you know she's not just attracted to you, she's attached to your essence. You've become part of her emotional ecosystem. And then comes a paradoxical stage. She starts fearing losing you even more than she desires keeping you. That's when her vulnerability truly deepens. She'll start imagining what it would feel like to not have access to your calm, to not hear your voice, to not feel that emotional safety she's now grown used to. That fear isn't about ownership, it's about recognition. She finally realizes she's found something she can't easily replace. And here's the dangerous beauty of that. When a woman starts realizing your value through peace instead of chaos, she falls in a way that burns slower but lasts longer. She won't confess this openly, You'll see it in her small hesitations, the pause before she ends a call, the way she lingers at the door before leaving, the deep sigh when she looks at you. That's her soul whispering, "I hope he knows how much I need him but won't say it." That's when love becomes silent but sacred. Another thing you'll notice, she starts matching your maturity. Women adjust emotionally to the tone you set. If you lead with chaos, she mirrors instability. But when you lead with composure, she learns to speak your emotional language. You'll see her reactions soften, arguments shorten. She begins solving rather than escalating. She's no longer reacting to fear, she's responding to connection. And this is where most men mess up. They think being calm means being passive. No, true masculine calm is not about being indifferent. It's about being grounded enough to contain her storms without losing your balance. When she feels that, she starts emotionally surrendering, because what she's looking for isn't dominance, it's direction. When she feels your steadiness under pressure, it reprograms her mind. She stops competing with your strength and starts complementing it. That's when polarity fully activates. Masculine stillness meets feminine surrender. At this stage, she begins to trust your silence. That's a milestone most men never reach. When a woman can sit through your quiet moments without assuming disinterest, she's fully emotionally connected. She no longer interprets your distance as rejection, she sees it as part of your rhythm. She begins to understand that your silence isn't coldness, it's reflection, it's your way of processing life. And when she learns to flow around that, instead of fighting it, that's love evolving into respect. Because every woman deep down wants to trust a man's emotional stability. She wants to know that even when you're quiet, your connection is still intact. When she stops fearing your pauses, she's no longer insecure, she's bonded. And when that happens, your presence becomes sacred to her. You're not just her man anymore, you've become her peace. And peace, once found, becomes the hardest thing to let go of. Then there's a shift in how she treats your imperfections. When she's still uncertain, she'll judge them. But when she's truly falling, she begins to accept them. The little things that once annoyed her, your stubbornness, your quietness, your routines, become part of what she finds grounding. That's the true marker of emotional depth. When she stops loving your potential and starts loving your reality, it means she's no longer infatuated, she's invested. She sees you as a whole person, flawed, complex, real, and that acceptance is what separates superficial affection from deep attachment. When a woman reaches this point, she's no longer trying to change you, she's trying to understand you. That's when she starts becoming protective, not of her ego, but of the bond itself. She starts nurturing the connection like it's something fragile but sacred. And that's how women love when they feel safe, not with control, but with care. Her communication also changes. It becomes emotionally transparent. She stops speaking in riddles or playing games. Instead of saying "I'm fine" when she's hurt, she starts expressing what she really feels. That's not a sign of weakness, that's a sign of trust. It means you've become her emotional mirror, a space where she doesn't have to hide behind manipulation or performance. Most men underestimate how rare that is, because women only open up fully when they sense a man won't weaponize their honesty. When she starts telling you her truths, not to win an argument but to deepen understanding, she's already fallen. The only thing you need to do in that moment is to listen without ego, because when she sees that her vulnerability doesn't threaten your power, it cements the bond in a way no words of love ever could. You don't need to fix her, you just need to hold the space where she can be real. And once she reaches emotional transparency, something profound happens. She starts dreaming with you. She begins imagining a shared future, not just out of fantasy, but as a vision she feels safe believing in. You'll notice her include you in her life plans, casually but intentionally, trips, family, goals, even habits she wants to build with you. It's her heart saying, "I see you as part of my evolution." This is when her love transforms from emotional dependency to spiritual alignment. You're not just a man she loves, you're a man she believes in. That's the ultimate form of feminine surrender. She's no longer choosing you out of excitement, she's choosing you out of faith. And when a woman loves you with faith, it's unshakable. She'll stand by you through uncertainty because your consistency has already shown her that she's safe, even in your silence. But here's the hidden truth, man. When she's fallen this deep, she becomes terrified, not of you, but of the depth of what she feels. She starts realizing how rare this connection is and how much power it gives you to break her. That's when she becomes quiet, reflective, a little distant, not because she's losing interest, but because she's overwhelmed. She's trying to protect herself from the intensity of her own emotions. Don't mistake that for coldness. It's her heart recalibrating. The best thing you can do here is remain still, consistent, patient, unbothered, because if you chase that withdrawal, she'll panic. But if you let her process it while you stay calm, she'll return with twice the devotion. That's the paradox of deep feminine energy. It needs space to breathe before it fully surrenders. Give her that space and she'll come back grounded, sure, and completely yours. Finally, when a woman is truly falling, not just in attraction, but in bonded love, she begins to mirror your energy of purpose. You'll see her become more disciplined, more driven, more stable, not because you told her to, but because your presence inspires her. That's the beauty of masculine energy done right. It doesn't demand change, it creates it naturally. When a woman falls for a man with direction, she aligns herself with his gravity. She starts walking taller, thinking clearer, loving deeper, and that's when she reaches the point of no return. Because at that stage, her soul isn't just attached to your personality, it's anchored to your energy. You've become her safe space in a chaotic world. She'll never say it out loud, but every part of her body, mind, and spirit begins to whisper the same truth. I've finally found where I belong. And that's when you know she's already fallen. When a woman falls to this level of emotional depth, you'll notice she starts reorganizing her life around the energy you bring. Her routines shift without her realizing, the time she wakes up, the way she prioritizes rest, even the kind of conversations she entertains start to change. You've altered her emotional vibration. She no longer seeks validation from chaos because she's already found peace in your calm. You've become the quiet rhythm that her mind subconsciously tunes into. When she's out with friends, you'll cross her thoughts in the middle of laughter. When she's at work, she'll instinctively want to tell you about her day. She doesn't plan this, it just happens. That's what genuine masculine presence does. It lingers. It doesn't chase or plead to be remembered. It echoes in her silence. And when a woman reaches this point, every other man feels like noise compared to the frequency she's now attuned to. That's when she begins to realize she's not just thinking about you, she's centered around you. You'll also notice that her emotional walls start coming down, not all at once but in pieces. She'll begin revealing stories about her childhood, her heartbreaks, her insecurities, things she once guarded fiercely. This is where many men fail, because they mistake vulnerability for drama. But a woman opening her wounds to you is her way of saying, you feel safe enough for me to bleed near you. She's showing you her scars, not to be pitied, but to be understood. Your job isn't to fix them, it's to hold that emotional truth with reverence, because what she's really doing is testing the container of your strength. If your reaction to her pain is calm, grounded, and compassionate, her trust deepens, but if you respond with impatience, defensiveness, or mockery, she withdraws. The deeper lesson here? A woman falls harder for the man who doesn't flinch at her emotional storms, because peace, when tested and proven, becomes irresistible. Then comes a powerful transformation. She starts becoming protective of the connection. When other men flirt with her, she dismisses them without thought. When her friends gossip negatively about you, she instinctively defends you. This isn't obedience, it's alignment. Her emotional loyalty now transcends her social influences. She starts filtering her world through your presence. Even in disagreement, she defends your character internally, because she believes in your essence. That's when you've become her emotional reference point, the standard she compares everyone else to, not out of obsession, but out of emotional imprinting. This kind of loyalty can't be bought or forced. It's earned through consistency, patience, and silence. When a man leads with inner peace instead of persuasion, his energy becomes magnetic. And when that energy touches a woman deeply enough, she stops looking for better options. Not because she can't, but because her soul already recognizes what peace feels like, and she won't trade that for excitement again. At this stage, her feminine intuition sharpens in ways that may surprise you. She starts sensing when something's wrong with you even before you tell her. You could be miles apart and she'll text you out of nowhere asking, "Are you okay?" That's emotional telepathy, something that only happens when two people are emotionally synchronized. Her body, mind, and spirit begin to respond to your fluctuations because she's deeply invested in your emotional reality. This level of connection is sacred, but it comes with a silent responsibility because now your energy affects hers directly. If you're reckless, she'll feel drained. If you're grounded, she'll feel nourished. A strong man understands that the woman who falls for him emotionally becomes a reflection of his state. That's why masculine discipline is essential, not just for yourself, but for the peace of the woman who believes in your stability. When you protect your energy, you protect hers too. And yet, despite all this, she'll still act like she's fine without you sometimes. She'll post something that looks independent, she'll smile a little wider in pictures, she'll laugh a little louder when you're not around. But that's not her truth. That's her ego trying to maintain balance in a love that has already disarmed her. Women who fall deeply still need to convince themselves they haven't lost control. But pay attention, because behind that performance, her energy tells a different story. Her body softens when she sees you. Her tone betrays affection when she says your name. Her silence feels louder than any words she could say. That's the war between her heart and her pride. Don't fight it. Don't expose it. Just know it. Because the man who understands her silence doesn't need her confession. He already knows the truth. She's trying to look strong while secretly praying that you're still hers. As time goes on, you'll see that her respect for you becomes more important than her attraction to you. That's a stage most men never reach. When a woman stops viewing you as a frill and starts admiring you, it's because you've proven that your value extends beyond emotion. It's rooted in principle. She sees how you handle setbacks, how you speak to others, how you move through pressure without losing composure. She notices the discipline you have when no one's watching. And whether she admits it or not, it ignites something deep inside her, a blend of awe and desire that she can't find in men who crumble easily. Respect is the highest form of attraction. Because lust fades, chemistry changes, but respect binds her emotionally, even when distance grows. When she starts respecting your character more than she loves your charm, that's when her feelings turn from temporary to timeless. She'll also begin to mirror your emotional maturity. If you communicate with patience, she'll respond with softness. If you handle conflict without anger, she'll stop reacting with chaos. You've become her emotional regulator. That's what true masculine influence is. Not dominance, but guidance through composure. You're shaping her by example, not control. This dynamic creates harmony, not because you've changed her, but because you've helped her feel safe enough to be her best self. When a woman feels safe, her femininity blooms effortlessly. She stops competing and starts complimenting. You'll see her body language shift, more relaxed, more affectionate, more sensual, not because she's trying to seduce you, but because she's finally resting in her natural state of softness. The masculine provides direction, the feminine provides flow. When both are aligned, the relationship stops feeling like work. It feels like breathing. But even then, she'll still test your energy occasionally. Not out of malice, but out of instinct. Women test what they value and what they respect. She wants to ensure that the man she's chosen remains consistent under pressure. You might notice moments where she withdraws, questions your intent, or provokes small emotional reactions. Don't take it personally. It's her subconscious checking the walls of her emotional safety. If you react with panic or anger, she senses instability. But if you remain calm, assertive, and unfazed, she falls even deeper. Because in that steadiness, she finds what her entire emotional system craves: security. Every test she throws is a mirror of her fear, not her disrespect. And every time you pass with patience, she subconsciously decides, this man is real. The man who doesn't react to tests, but understands them, always wins the heart that others lose. Eventually, she'll start expressing her love, not just through affection, but through investment. She'll want to grow with you not just emotionally, but mentally and spiritually. She'll start sharing books, ideas, insights. She'll push you to evolve, not because she's dissatisfied, but because she sees your potential clearer than you do. That's what happens when a woman's love matures. She stops chasing pleasure and starts nurturing purpose. She becomes your silent motivator, your emotional compass, your invisible strength. You'll feel her energy push you forward in life, to chase dreams you once feared, to confront weaknesses you once avoided. A woman who's fallen deeply becomes the emotional architecture behind a man's legacy. That's why choosing the right woman matters, because the wrong one drains you, but the right one multiplies your spirit. And when she falls in love with your evolution, you've already won something most men never experience: loyalty born out of shared purpose. And finally, when she's completely fallen, you'll feel it in her stillness. She no longer seeks reassurance. She no longer needs constant attention. She doesn't fear distance or time. Her energy becomes grounded, peaceful, devoted, consistent, because she's no longer wondering if you're hers. She knows it. Her love stops being loud and becomes quiet, steady, unshakable. That's the final form of feminine love. Not obsession, not dependence, but trust. She'll stand beside you in silence, proud but humble, passionate but composed. And when you look at her, you'll see the reflection of everything your discipline, patience, and calmness created. That's the beauty of real connection. You didn't force her to fall, you allowed her to, through presence, through energy, through unwavering peace. And once a woman experiences that kind of love, she never truly recovers, because deep down, she knows she'll never meet another man like you again. When she reaches that point of stillness, something incredible begins to happen within her. She stops chasing excitement and starts craving stability. That's how you know she's emotionally matured through your influence. The parties, the drama, the constant need for validation from others suddenly feel empty. She begins to find fulfillment in the quiet presence of something real, something rooted. And here's the irony. While most men chase women for attention, the man who withdraws from the noise becomes the one who commands devotion. You've shown her that peace is not boring, it's healing. You've proven that silence isn't disinterest, it's control. And she starts craving that energy in every part of her life. She'll find herself missing your discipline when she's surrounded by chaos, thinking about your patience when other men rush her, and longing for your consistency when the world feels unstable. You've become her blueprint for balance, and even if she tries to replace it, nothing else feels like home anymore. As time goes on, she'll begin to understand what you were really teaching her all along. That real love is built on restraint, not indulgence. You never needed to control her, because your self-control silently led her. That's the paradox of masculine energy. The more discipline you have, the more deeply she falls. She starts seeing love through your lens, not as a constant display of affection, but as a steady presence of intention. She realizes that the moments you didn't react, the times you chose silence over argument, the days you stayed grounded while she spiraled, those were the moments that built trust. Because it's not your words she remembers, it's your composure. That's the mark of a man whose love matures a woman. You didn't give her dopamine, you gave her direction. You didn't excite her chaos, you anchored her heart. And now, even in your absence, your energy continues to shape her. That's legacy, not through control, but through calm. But what makes this stage truly profound is what happens when she tries to walk away, not out of anger, but curiosity. Because at some point, she'll test what life feels like without you. Not because she doesn't care, but because women often need distance to measure depth. She'll think she can fill the void with distraction, with attention, with novelty, but none of it will stick. Every interaction will feel shallow. Every conversation will lack the weight she felt when speaking to you. Every man she meets will remind her of what you didn't need to say to make her feel seen. That's when she realizes something no one taught her, that real connection doesn't live in constant communication, but in emotional resonance. She'll start missing the way you felt, not the things you did. And when a woman starts missing the feeling of safety, peace, and clarity that you gave her, she's already halfway back, even if she hasn't texted you yet. It's in those moments of quiet longing that the truth begins to set in for her, that losing you wasn't just losing a man, it was losing balance. You became her emotional compass, and now without your presence, her direction starts to blur. She'll notice herself being more reactive, more anxious, more uncertain, because she's no longer anchored by your energy. And while she may try to mask that pain with pride, deep down, she knows the truth. You weren't like the rest. You didn't demand her love. You earned it by never needing it. And now that she's alone, she understands the cost of that kind of stability. Because men like you don't orbit endlessly around women. You move forward, quietly, powerfully, leaving behind a trail of reflection that no apology can erase. That's when regret starts creeping in. Not as a burst of guilt, but as a slow burning awareness that she misjudged calmness for detachment and patience for disinterest. As that realization grows, so does her admiration. But now it's laced with pain. She'll remember the way you stayed composed during her emotional storms. She'll recall how you never tried to outtalk her chaos, how you simply let her be while maintaining your peace. She'll understand that what she mistook for indifference was actually strength, that your silence was never cold, it was self-control, that your distance wasn't rejection, it was self-respect. These realizations don't come instantly, they come slowly, in flashes of regret that hit her when she least expects it. Maybe she's scrolling through old messages, maybe she hears a song that reminds her of you, or maybe she just sees a man who tries too hard and realizes you never had to. That's when the ache sets in. Not for attention, not for validation, but for the energy that made her feel safe without even trying. Eventually, she'll try to convince herself she's over it, that she's moved on, that she's happy. But emotional truth doesn't listen to logic. You see, attraction fades, but energetic imprinting lasts. She might laugh with another man, but her body won't respond the same. She might go on dates, but her mind will wander back to you. Because emotional safety leaves a memory deeper than love itself. It's why people can move on physically, but stay tied spiritually. You left an imprint, not because of grand gestures, but because of consistency. You made her feel something she didn't know she needed, peace. And once a woman experiences peace from a man, she can't unlearn it. She can fake indifference, she can post smiles, but deep down, she's comparing every man to you, and every time they fall short, her regret grows. It's not loud, it's quiet, heavy, and permanent. And here's the most ironic part, she'll eventually come back, but not always to rekindle. Sometimes she comes back to confirm that what she felt was real. She'll test the waters, send a message, ask how you've been, but it's not curiosity. It's nostalgia. She wants to see if the energy still feels the same, if your calm still disarms her, if your tone still carries that grounded certainty she misses. That's her way of revisiting safety. But here's the moment of power for you. When she comes back, you're no longer the same man, because your silence has evolved you. You're not the one waiting anymore, you're the one evaluating. And when she feels that shift, when she realizes the peace she once took for granted now exists without her, it hits harder than rejection ever could. That's when the full weight of her choices crushes her pride. You see, the greatest revenge isn't silence, it's evolution. It's showing her, without anger, that you didn't just survive losing her, you transcended it. You built a life that no longer depends on her validation. You became emotionally abundant, spiritually balanced, and internally strong. That's what breaks her ego, not your bitterness, but your indifference. She expected you to chase, to fight, to plead for clarity. Instead, you became the clarity, and every version of you she encounters after that will remind her of the version she lost. Not the man who loved her, but the man who mastered himself. Women rarely regret losing men who begged. They regret losing men who rebuilt. Because when she sees you thriving without resentment, when she senses that her absence no longer affects your peace, she realizes something devastating. She lost a man who never lost himself. That's when the tables turn completely. Suddenly, she's the one trying to prove value. She starts posting things that echo your old habits, speaking in ways that mirror your mindset, even adopting your beliefs subtly. It's her subconscious trying to reconnect through imitation, but imitation isn't connection. She's trying to rebuild a bridge she burned, using pieces of what she remembers about you, and that's when you finally understand what true power is, not dominance over others, but mastery over your emotions. You no longer need closure, because your evolution is the closure. Her return doesn't excite you anymore. It confirms what you always knew. You were never the one who lost. You were the lesson, and the most painful lessons are always the hardest to forget. You gave her a version of love that taught her peace, and peace once experienced becomes an addiction no chaos can satisfy. So in the end, you don't make her regret losing you by chasing her, convincing her, or trying to remind her of your worth. You make her regret it by becoming everything she thought she could replace and more. You make her feel it when your absence becomes the loudest presence in her life, when she realizes that the man she thought would wait forever has outgrown her, that the silence she mistook for weakness was the sound of your evolution. You win not through revenge, but through radiance. You become so grounded, so disciplined, so emotionally rich, that your energy itself becomes unreachable to her. And when she finally looks back, seeing you at peace, she'll understand. She didn't lose you because you stopped caring. She lost you because you finally started caring for yourself. And that, my friend, is how you make her regret losing you, even if she says she doesn't care.